Hi, this is Abid Hussain Malik from Abid Financials. I hope you are doing well, and I would like to discuss
Study material QuickBooks Online Level 1, Section 3, the names, expenses, and vendors. And 10 questions shall be asked in a certification exam. First of all, we shall discuss the content of this section. This section deal with these 4 tasks. First one is setup task, then frequent task and occasional task, and the reports and insights. All the course is designed according to this sequence, and we shall discuss one by one in details. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Abid Hussain Malik, a CPA, top-rated plus freelancer, and a QuickBooks and Zero trainer and pro advisors. I have 10 years of experience in accounting, bookkeeping, taxations, and I have served more than 300 clients worldwide. And if you need any help regarding accounting, bookkeeping, taxation, and the QuickBooks certification, you may email me at my contact number info@abidfinancials.com, or you may contact me at my WhatsApp number here. I also provide accounting and bookkeeping services. In addition to them, I also provide QuickBooks Level 1, Level 2, Payroll, Desktop, Enterprise, QuickBooks Intuit Bookkeepers certification helps. And I also deal with the Zero Pro Advisor certification and the Payroll certification. If you need all these certification on urgent basis, you may just contact me at any time. Now we shall discuss our first task, that is setup task, and this is our first task. And first of all, we shall explore the expense center. There are several ways to access our screen in our QuickBooks, and these are the 4 different ways. And the first one is the left hand menu, and the second one is accountant tools and the general settings, and the last one is plus new button. You may access the plus new button is here, general and setting from there, and the accountant tools is available here. And the first one is the left hand navigation. This is the left hand navigation centers, where we can access all these centers. And we shall discuss all these topics from the left hand navigation bar. So expense and tab list all money out transactions in a given date range, and you can narrow down list by selecting the expenses type from the drop down menu. You can filter, and this is expenses tab, and these are 5 tabs here: expenses, bills, vendors, categories, and the mileage. All these would be accessed here, and we shall discuss one by one. The multiple transactions can be selected, or batch action can be used in expenses centers. You can also print, order the check, pay the bills, and categorize the multiple transactions in one go. Option in the list setting gear, top right of the transaction list, enable you to charge columns that are visible, including attachment, memo, and due date. Bill is received from a vendor. They own money to that will be paid at a later date. The bills tab enables you to add, review, manage bills. The list show bills that are either for review, unpaid, or paid bills. A vendor in a QuickBooks is a parent or a business who sell the product. Is a person or business who sell the product or provides the services. A contractor is a type of vendor in an individual or business that provides services that might require 1099 end of year tax reporting. The vendor tab displays the list of vendors, including contractors that a client purchase item from, showing their contact details and the client's open balances with each vendor's expenses. And now we shall discuss the vendor section. In the vendor section, we shall see this is a bar. Here we can see the purchase order, overdue, open bills, and the paid balances. Here we can prepare the 1099, and here this is the button we can create the new vendors. Now we shall discuss the fifth point. A vendor is added QuickBooks mark as being tracked for 1099. That vendor will appear on the contact tab. While you're adding new vendors in a vendors tab, if you tick the checkbox of the contractor, then it will track 1099 for that, as well as the vendor tab. If a new contractor is added directly in this contractor tab, the contractor will also be added automatically to the vendor list and automatically marked as being tracked for 1099. The contractors can be paid, and there are 1099 forms prepared at year end from the contractor tab. Some clients may choose to pay their contractor via payroll. If this is the case, this contractor may not appear in this tab, and their 1099 will be provided via payroll. Mileage. The last one is the mileage. Mileage is tracked via QuickBooks mobile app, can be viewed and managed in the QuickBooks Online in the mileage tab. Trips can also be added manually from this tab. Mileage tracking is often a forgotten expense for the business owner, so having this here as a part of QuickBooks is helpful to help ensure their business versus personal mileage is recorded at the end of the year. Now we are discussing the overview of setup task. Setup task contain three tasks here. The first one is managing vendor list, adjusting settings, and setting up tags. So these three topics shall be discussed in our setup task, and then this topic shall be ended. The first one we shall discuss our managing the vendor list. The first task in the setup workflow is to manage the vendor list. When a vendor has been added to the QuickBooks, you can record when bills are received from them and when the payments are made to them. You can also keep track of expenses by vendors. Vendor list shows the name and contact details of each vendors along with their current open balance. This is the amount and the QuickBooks owes each vendors. So now there is a screenshot. We can see the list of all vendors here. And this is a list of all vendors, their name, their company name, their phone, emails, and the 1099 tracking if we are. So it is picked down here. And the next one is the open balance. These are their opening balances. And in the last one here, these are the action column. We can create their bills, schedule the payments, and the rest of this. This is a gear setting. We can manage their settings as well. So adding the vendors, following information need to fill when you hit the new vendors button. Here there is a new button and a name and contact when we want to create our new vendors button. So first of all, we need to fill the name and their contact and what's information we need to give and what's important. So we shall all discuss information here, and here at the end we shall see the screenshot of this dialog box, name and contact. Here this is company name, vendor name, title, first name, middle name, last name, suffix, email, phone number, fax, others. So all these information we shall discuss here. The company name appears on the bills and the purchase order created for these vendors. The vendor display name is a name used to display the vendor in the QuickBooks. This can be the same or different or can be edited manually. And note that the vendor display name must be unique. It cannot be the same with the other customer vendors. So it can be a duplicate, or if it deals with a business who is both a customer or the vendors. For example, a company buy the product from the store and also provide the services. Display name can be adjusted with one instance, additional punctuation like blue store, or you can write the blue and hyphen store. So QuickBooks always indicate whether it's a customer or the vendors. And the next text into the company name field, the network members will all be suggested for adding these names. So lets you connect with your customers and vendor by contacting. You can send invoices to your customers network or and receive bills from your vendors directly QuickBooks. You are ready to view and the pay. You do not have to manually create the bills, and also contact the information for your connection will stay up to date if they make changes in their QuickBooks. These automation tools help you streamline the workflow and better predict cash flows and reduce the manual entry tasks. So it's best practice to record the vendor email address, as it creates a comprehensive source of growth managing vendors and streamline the workflow. And have an email address is particularly helpful if you will be issuing the vendor 1099 for the year end. Can send 1099 electronically. By default, it appears in the name to print the checks field and the vendor display name, and it can also change as a preferred name. For example, company may enter the name, but the vendor display name might be used for a division, or the owner could be a first name or last name. In cases you may want to change the name to print the checks, something like this display name. So the next tab would be the address tab, and where how we can add the address. Address is where payments or email, and also known the remit to address. Address include the 1099 they are issued. The best practice to complete it contribute creating the comprehensive source of managing vendors, streamline the workflow, and increasing accuracy and the consistency. The next one is preview. The address is a link that takes you to view the address of the Google map. Notes and attachment are also available here. Use the notes and attachment section to enter the notes about vendors, such as for products, specification, or the shipping information. These notes are not shared with the vendors. These are only visible to client attachment, and useful features as it offers secure storage file. It's good for documents such as W9, certification of issuance, and the contracts. And by storing W9 forms in the vendor profile within the QuickBooks, you keep all relevant tax documents organized and easily accessible, which is helpful for tax reporting and compliance purposes. Payment, use the bank payment info section to record the vendor's accounts details to send the payments. Next one is the additional info and the taxes, business ID number, social security, file stores, and tax identification for the tax vendors. This number is used when creating the 1099. By checking box next to the tax prepayments for 1099, you mark the vendor as a contractor that should receive a 1099. They shall appear on the contractor tab of the expenses center. It comes to a tax time dash shall be appear in the 1099 workflow. Billing rate only appears if the client's using project and that the vendor is paid as a contractor at daily rates. Terms indicate the payment should be made. These terms are usually included in invoices generated by the companies and sent to the customers. For example, payments is due upon receipts, net 15, net 30, net 45 or 60. These are kind of terms. Use account number field to enter the account number with the vendor. This is helpful for utility payments like accounts number show up on the memo, on the check, or online payments. So it's also useful to have information all in one places. Use the default expense category. Choose which expense account or sub account in chart of accounts that bill expenses from the vendors will be allocated to by default. And this default can be changed from each bill expenses. Now the last one is the opening balances field. It can also be used when you're adding the vendor and with whom the client already has a business and you want to enter the beginning balance. And however, in the situation, it's often better to enter the actual transaction that make up the vendor's balance rather than using this field, entering the individual transactions, and easier to troubleshoot the accounts later if required. Offsetting entry of the opening balance is also parked at opening balance equity. So now we shall discuss the next is links to access the resources. These are the given links. You may explore all these topics in details. You may just click on them and you can get their page. Now there is a requesting a completed W9. When you enter with a contract with your vendors, then you need the W9 to file the 1099 at the end of the period. So this is all information about the W9. You really need to submit 1099 at year end to whom you have paid the 600 for the services or independent contractor or the freelancer. At the start, I is required to submit 1099-S for independent contractor, freelancer, or vendor and not listed as a corporation and has issued more than $600 in payments for the previous years. The mode of payments for the check, cash, or ACH. Credit cards information will not be included here. To prepare 1099, you need to collect information from contractor, freelancer and complete the W9. Collecting this information throughout the year will make 1099 preparation so much smoother. So you should ensure to by completing W9 before starting your engagement and issuing any payments. So this is beneficial for submitting your 1099 at the year end, and also required you pay the withholding taxes on the money and you pay them. Now we shall discuss the setup contractors and track them for 1099. So this is a given link. You may just follow there. You will also have a landing page for more detailed information. QuickBooks contractor payments and the bill pay. And you can pay a vendor by check or electronically. And paying via contractor payments, client can make unlimited contractor payments. Next day, direct deposits, and the version of the QuickBooks payroll payments automatically synchronized with the QuickBooks. Clients record are always up to date. Clients can invite the contractor to set up a free account or complete W9 and provide the bank deposit details. Paying via bill pay. With all your vendor info in one place, you can pay all your vendors contractor in one place with bill pay. And only is 1099 at glance to help you stay compliant with the issue the unlimited 1099s for no additional fee with bill pay premium or elite plans. So these are the different methods of paying your contractor and the vendors. The first one is checks, and then other is contractor payment, and the other one is your bill pay. These are the your different kind of methods you can adopt to pay your vendors. So next topic of setup task is adjusting option in the accounts and setting. Once you have set up your vendors and now you want to edit or change or add or remove any kind of information, then we need to go to the settings, accounts and setting, to make sure to update your information to reflect the consistency and the efficiency in your accounts. At the top right of the screen, general setting gear expense tab on the left side, you may access the accounts and setting, and there you will see the expenses section, and the expenses section you will see all this information like this one. So here these are the 5 options. We shall discuss one by one what's their importance. The show item tables on the expense and purchase form adds product table on expenses and purchase forms. Show up on the transaction in the bank feed, purchase order, expense, bill, vendor one credit. So you can specify which product and services are purchased from the vendors. So this is especially needed for clients using inventory, but helpful for others client too. This feature is available on plus and advanced plans. Next is show tabs for field on the expense and purchase forms. Lets you add tags to track expense and purchase in a custom way. The next is track expense and item by customers at the customer column on expense and purchase form. So you can track expense and item by customers. The next option is make expense and item billable. Adds a billable column on expense purchase form, so you can add bills, billable expenses, item on sales form, and set a percentage markup rate if applicable. Now we should discuss the purchase order. For those clients on plus and advance plans, you can turn on use purchase order if they want to track their intention to buy something. One thing you should keep in mind, purchase order option is only available these two options, plus and advance. So the simple, start, and essential, you cannot find the purchase order, so this setting will not be available there. So purchase order, these are some settings we need to turn on to have this information here. So this is a setting in expense, and this is the purchase order section. You shall toggle on this button, and you will also set the message on the purchase order, and you can also add some custom fields. And here in the message field, you will see these some theirs and the greetings and their subject line or email body, and also this information you will see there in the message. You can also set the setting in the advance option under the time tab, and the automation prefill forms with previously entered content automatically apply credit, automatically invoice and bill activity, and automatically apply bill payment. Another tab to check is the advance, specifically automation selection made there will affect all transactions, not just those relating to expense vendor. Do you want to prefill them? If we have entered any information and we want this information automatically fill on these forms, so automatically file various field of the form based on the last saved transaction for that customer vendor employee. This can be really helpful if you want all payments vendors to be categorized consistently, or if the amounts you pay is the same each time. However, this setting can be unhelpful if your client don't pay close attention to the content of the form and overlook just these brief fields when necessary. If you want to automatically apply the credit, then these settings most commonly affect accounts receivable, but it can also affect accounts payable. If there is a prepayments for a vendor and a bill is entered, the credit would auto apply to the bill. And also you want to automatically apply bill payments, then record a bill payment in transactions. This setting is switch on, automatically apply the payments to the oldest existing bill. If your client does not pay the oldest bill first, it can cause the issue in the accounting workflow. It's common in the construction industry where bills are paid not based on age but on the completion of the job. Third task is the setting up tags. Tags are customizable labels that you can add to the transactions to get inside money and out. You can set them up and prompt them to help keep track of specific areas of your client's businesses. And you can also tag the sealed transaction, expense transactions, but keep in mind that because one transaction can have multiple tags, the whole transaction will appear in multiple times on the profit and loss accounts. And you can also run a transaction list report by tag. Tag only show up on those two reports. This is a preview of the tags. These are the tags, some names. And then there's a transactions, how many transactions each tags have, and there's an action column here. You can run their reports. And now the tag is closed here. We shall discuss in details in level 2. Now we shall discuss the relevant questions about this section of the setup task. The first question is, following the vendor details in the best practice to maintain their record in the QuickBooks. The correct answers is email address, res account number. Which of the following statement best describe the tags in the QuickBooks Online? The correct answer is tags or customizable labels that you can add to the transaction that affect the profit and loss account. So the first task of the setup task is completed now. In addition to this, you can visit my YouTube channel Abid Financials. Here you can find the level 1 study materials. I have already uploaded the section 1, 2 and 3 here, and also you may find the level 1 answers here. And I also upload the other accounting topics videos like monthly bookkeeping in a QuickBooks Online. It will include all transactions, how to upload, categorize, reconcile the transactions, and I have included the other accounting software like Penelope tutorials and update for the new policy. And besides this, a lot of videos you can find there, advanced QuickBooks Online answers and basic QuickBooks Online answer. You may also scroll the playlist here. I have added a lot of videos in a different section wise. These are the study materials of level 1 and the answers of level 1, and these are the e-commerce bookkeeping relevant transactions, how to record Shopify sales, Amazon's, and these are the financial format like expense and income tracking or budgeting and the forecasting. Here you may find the advanced bookkeeping, advanced answers and the zero payroll answers and the QuickBooks Online answers section 1. And these are all videos are here. This is a playlist of QuickBooks Online tutorial of QuickBooks Online. You may find the 23 videos for relevant to this one. So we move to our next topic. That next topic is relevant about the frequent tasks in expenses and vendors. The frequent task for expense and vendors will tend to money out workflow. Get familiar with some keys QuickBooks specific terminologies. Expense is a widely used term for money out transactions. QuickBooks uses in this way. The QuickBooks also need to specifically record the transaction when money is spent at the time a purchase is made. QuickBooks bill is what your client received from a vendor when they owe them money, but will pay at a later time. The main difference between the expense and the bill is you record the expense when you pay the money at the time of transactions, and the bill, you have a transactions, you receive the bills and you record them and you pay later time, not on the spot. So here is a workflow of bills, how it is working in the QuickBooks. First of all, did your client pay their vendor at the same time as they made the purchases? If they yes, it means it would be the expense. And the optional, you may also issue the purchase order, or this is an expense and record in the QuickBooks either manually or automatically via the bank fee. If you have paid via credit card or the checking accounts, the payment shall be shown within a few hours in the QuickBooks, and then you may categorize them automatically. And then next, if you do not want to pay on the spot, then you may issue the purchase order. It's optional, and then you will receive the bills and record in QuickBooks, and pay the bills later and record in the QuickBooks. If available, upload the receipts or bill to create the record to add the bill record or expense the record. So this is an overview or workflow of the topics. Now these are the 4 topics which shall be discussed here. First one is the purchase order, then manually record the expense, pay the bills and upload the receipts. First one is purchase order, record the bill or expense, pay the bill and upload the receipts. So these are the 4 topics we shall discuss one by one. First one is purchase order, available to the clients with a plus and advance subscription. And you may choose to use the purchase order to request a specific product or service from vendor, including quantity or agreed price. How PO works: client determine whether they need to order or create the purchase order. Vendor fulfills, deliver the orders and provide an invoice on your client. Then you can make the payment of the vendors. What are the benefits of using the purchase order? There are many benefits we have listed here. First one is the make order to easier to track. Streamline the order tracking, and when the order arrives, and easy to check whether the correct items or the quantities have been sent. The next is ensure the clear communication, since orders are highly detailed. So ensure the clients and the vendors are in agreement about the expectation. Makes life easier for the vendors. A purchase order helps vendors generate your client's orders and successfully deliver it on them. Last one is manage the cash flow and provide the control over spending, give insight on the future spending. Using purchase order, how you will create them: you will go to the left navigation bar at the top, you will see the new button, and then select the purchase order. All details shall be entered here, and it can be sent to the vendors. Once created, status shall be open, and it can be added to an expense or copied to a bill. Now we shall discuss our second option, that is regarding the expense. You may record the expense or the bills, and a business spent money at the time of purchase. Expense transaction shall be entered. Expense transaction recorded on the cash basis systems once they are completed. Now we are going to discuss when after connection of the bank or credit card to the QuickBooks, expenses are automatically downloaded in the QuickBooks, categorized all transactions or matched to the existing transactions or the manually entered transactions. It's common to categorize transactions common via bank fees or manually entering the these transactions. Manually entering expenses would be used, and when the payments come in via bank, QuickBooks will suggest a match. Particularly when you do the manual recording the transactions, when there is a larger expense or incur, when the needs to of the company reporting requirements, and when the clients wants to record in their accounts immediately. So these are the reasons to record manually transaction your expenses. Ensure the pay should always be recorded. What are the benefit and how it will affect in our accounts? So we shall discuss in details. And the pay is always accurate. Audit ensures the expenses accurately attributed to the correct vendors, which is crucial for maintaining accurate reporting of the clients. The pay is recorded. It allows for detailed tracking of expenditure by vendor, making it easier to analyze spending patterns, compliance to 1099, vesting, and the financial planning. This help in managing relationship with vendors, and also monitor their spending for each vendors, negotiate better terms, and ensure timely payments. Reconciliation is more straightforward and easier to manage the transaction in the QuickBooks. So these 4 points are very important for exam point of view. Third option is paying an expense by check. Check can be used to pay the bills, used like expense transaction function in the QuickBooks. Allow to print the paper check or record a handwritten check. Entering and paying the bills, how we shall do them. By recording a bill, purchase is associated with a date or period different from the payment date. It's an accrual basis transaction, so bills are recorded, cost is recorded as incurred, even though the no money in the changing hands just yet. Recording a bill debits accounts. Now we are discussing their journal entry for recording the bills. We shall debited the expense accounts and credited that will goes to the profit and loss accounts, and also we debit an assets which increase the assets on the balance sheets. Once a client has paid a bill, payment should be recorded in the books. When the bill is paid, money leaves the business. Both accounts payable and bank balance decrease by payment option. QuickBooks bill pay. How we shall pay the bills. And with the QuickBooks Pay bill, this is QuickBooks services. Clients can streamline their accounts payable process by paying their bill using QuickBooks as schedule the future payments, avoid the deadline and the late fees. Each time client can schedule the payments, choose the payments from the payments method, and bill pay allows client to easily send the checks, issue payment to the vendors. For bills paid through the bill pay, payment clears the banks. It will automatically match the payments, and it will be easy to manage the bank transaction list for manual processing, save the time, and features only matches bank withdrawal with the transaction process through the QuickBooks bill pay, and all transactions are eligible. Recording product and services item for the transactions. It can be helpful to record money transaction using items instead of categories. When you create a product, you specify the sales purchase account on the items that's used when a transaction is recorded. To add items to sales expenses forms and switch on the option to allocate transaction to item in the bank feed. Go to the company account setting from general setting here, and in the expense tab, switch on show item tables of the expense in the purchase forms. Recording money out, and this way enables you to track at more details level than categories used to the chart of accounts. Consider the example of the construction company is a main example of this one, because it tracks the cost not just for the account level such as job level, job supplies, and more detailed itemized levels. Others client who need to record the product services item in this way, or who are using the projects in the QuickBooks. So now we shall discuss the fourth item, that is uploading receipts and the bills. This is the evidence of our transactions like the bills, and we shall upload from the receipts tab in the transaction center. This helps to ensure what's benefit of using this one. Expenses are accurately recorded, reduce the chances of error and omission. Have a required source document for the transactions, which is not only good accounting practice but required in case of an audit. Documentation provide the detailed information about the transactions, which helps in understanding and verifying the nature of expense. QuickBooks Online makes keeping track of receipts and bills for a breeze by enabling clients to upload them from a computer and mobile device. Email them to a customer address that clients can set up. Your clients can also take a photo of the receipts on their phone and upload it via QuickBooks app. Once uploaded, QuickBooks use the optical character recognition to scan these receipts and bill, extract the necessary information, and record it. It suggests a match to existing expense or bill the transactions already recorded in the QuickBooks and create a new transactions here. So once receipts and bills are added in the QuickBooks, they appear in For Review tabs and the Receipts tab of the Transaction Center. If necessary, clients can update any missing, incorrect, or map the field directly from here. They can then start matching the uploaded receipts and bills to transaction from the bank feed. Now this section is frequent task is completed, and we shall discuss some exam questions. The first one is, when your clients spend money at the time of purchase, what should be used to record the transactions? At the time of transactions, if you pay the money, it would be the expense, or if you pay later, so it would be the bill. And so the correct option is expense. Or you may also create another question. If you do not spend the money at the time of purchase and pay later, what the transaction would be used? Then correct answer would be the bill. What happens when your clients receive a bill and record in the QuickBooks? So this is a whole sequence. When you record the bill, so the first entry is made expense debit, accounts payable credit. In expensive credit, it will increase the expense in profit and loss accounts, or in the payable entry would increase the payables in the balance sheet account. So all these effects shall be discussed in details. Increase the accounts payable, credit the accounts payable, debits expense account, and its effect on the profit and loss account. So all these four transactions are its correct answer. So now we shall discuss the occasional task. This is third one task here, and here are the three tasks. The first one is the vendor credit and the refund, and the second one is pay down credit cards, and the third one is using recurring expenses transactions. So we shall discuss all these transactions one by one. Now we are going to discuss the vendor credit and the refund. Vendor credit is a transactions to record when the client receive a credit from the vendors that can apply to the existing unpaid bill or future purchases. So this is definition and very important for point of view. So when you record a vendor credit in QuickBooks, it's supposed a debit balance to decrease the account receivable. So this is main effect on the accounts. And it will reduce the money that your client owes to the vendors and decrease the accounts payable liability on the balance sheet, as well as reduce the due to the vendors. It reduces the expense account and also reduce the overall expenses in the P&L. If your client receive a credit from a vendor, it's need to be recorded in the QuickBooks so it can be applied to existing open bill and the future purchase. And from the vendor, you can also do that via vendor's credit transactions. Receiving vendor credit, how you will record them, you will go to the plus new button and then vendor credits, and then select the new transaction from the expenses center and then vendor credits. So these are the two different methods. First one is plus new button and vendor credit. Second method is new transactions from the expenses center and then select the vendor credit. And record the vendor credit, and you shall enter the vendor name, date, reference number, and in a field for the vendor credit, you can enter the details of vendor credit using the category details or item details section. It depends on the detail of original bills. And for example, original bill was for an item QuickBooks for the fontaine. That item details dropdown should be used. If discount or promotional credit, categories details can be selected as a promotional account would be in the item code. In the description, a note can be added explaining the reason and the rate and the quantity of credit item. And the original expenses was billed to the customer, you can also indicate how apply the vendor credit to a bill payment. Select the expense from the left navigation bar, expenses tab, then view the vendor credit and open the bills. Go to the bill tabs and find the bills, select the mark as paid from the drop down action column. When you will do this, a bill payment screen shows that QuickBooks has already applied to the vendor credit, creating a bill payment for the balance minus amount of credit. To save the vendor credit for later, you can select the checkbox next to it and remove it from the bill payment. Vendor refund. A vendor refund represents money being returned to your clients. It means the difference is vendor refund, you shall give the money via cash or the bank to the customer for refund of the or return of the goods or other kind of things. When you record a vendor refund, increase the cash balance, decrease the balance of correspondence expense or liability account. There is no vendor refund transaction type to select from the plus new button. You can enter the refund in the deposit screen as a negative in the other funds area. So this is very important. There is no special button for this refund. For this one, you shall go to deposit. You shall enter the select the deposit, and then you will enter this amount as a negative. Enter the vendor refunds. These are the several different ways vendor refunds might occur. You can visit this link for more details. Now the other feature is pay down credit cards. So if you're using the credit cards that is attached, you are going to pay from your checking account. So you can also how you will categorize this payment of the credit card. So we shall discuss in details. Using wrong transaction, what are the benefit of this one? Using wrong transaction type, clients record the credit card statement as a bill and then record the payment as a bill payment, so it's wrong. So this is not recommended and can lead to discrepancies and adversely affect your financial reporting. Payment to the credit card can be recorded in multiple ways. Using pay down credit card features ensure payments are recorded correctly. Movement for fund from bank account to credit card, it ensures. And also miscategorizing payment. Clients do not use the paid on credit card features and instead record it as an expense, so this is incorrect. And if the credit card is connected, payment record comes into QuickBooks via bank fields, and credit card transactions are recorded to expense and then also record the payment to the expense account, so expense may be overstated. Paid on credit card features in a QuickBooks is client friendly to help the clients to make the right choice and avoid some common mistake. This allows to keep records error free and making the job easier. You can also go to the plus new button and choose the paid on credit card from the last column, which you can use in this way. Now we are discussing using the recurring expense transactions. This feature is used to create different recurring transactions which are happen on the daily, weekly or the monthly basis, and that you cannot want to create every new transaction for this frequency. You may use this recurring transaction for sale receipts, invoice, bills, checks, deposits, and expense. In relation to expense from vendor, gateway to automate the money out transactions that are paid at regular interval for the fixed amount. Recurring transaction can be set up to recurring occur on or there are three types of schedule, unscheduled, and reminder. Once parameter for recurring transaction have been set up, QuickBooks automate the process, and existing recurring transaction can be used as a template for creating the others. Money or transactions type that cannot be set up to be recurring or bill payments cannot be set up as a recurring, or paid on credit card cannot be set up as a recurring transactions. So you can set up a regular bill. You cannot use a recurring transaction to record associated payment made even if your client makes payment on a regular basis. So recurring transaction type, we shall discuss in detail all three items. First one is the schedule. Use a schedule template to automate create a transaction as a set of frequency or on a set of dates. For example, vehicle lease payments. The next one is unscheduled transactions. Use an unscheduled template as a starting point of recording transactions in the future that occur on an ad hoc basis, where the details are subject to change each time, such as adding a different job each month or allocating expense in a different way each period. For example, this could be a template for a job purchases where these are variation of style or colors. Client offer a 2-core garage cabinet template or 3-core garage cabinet templates. Different packages are sold to configure as a template. Reminder is a hybrid that combines the feature of unscheduled scheduled templates and is intended for transactions that occur on a regular scheduled basis and where the clients does not want the QuickBooks process to automate and because they need anything before they are created. Example is the sale commission, which is calculated on a monthly or the weekly basis, and that these are completed for the month and the calculation can be done and the bill are entered. Keep an eye of recurring transactions when you have set up it. You should review regularly to avoid recording regular money or transactions that are no longer happening, and the loan payments loans has been paid in full. You can see a list of all recurring transactions by selecting it for the general setting here top right of the screen. Also note that customer, vendor, employees, product, services accounts cannot be made inactive if it's being used on recurring transactions. This question task is completed. Now we discuss the questions. The first question is, when your clients receive a credit from vendors, vendor credits, so it can be applied to an existing bill. It can be used for future purchases. It decreases the account's balances liability on the balance sheet. So this is correct answer. What is the best way to record a payment made to credit card to ensure that it required accurately? So it should be recorded as a pay down credit card transactions. So our question task is completed now, and now we are going to the last topic, that is reports and insights. In the reports, we shall first of all discuss the report associated with the expense centers, and there are the two types of the reports, two sections of the report center. If we run the reports in a report section, there are two main categories: what you owe and the expenses and vendors. In the what you owe, provide the information about accounts payable that your clients owe the bill to the vendors, and the expenses and vendor digs into the purchases made through the bills and expenses. There are three types of the reports we will see by their name. First one is summary reports that provide the overview of data, like a simple list of vendors and their balances. Second one is detailed reports that show the breakdown of all transactions of a specific period. And the third one is the list reports, show the details information about list items such as product and vendors. It's up to you determine which reports are best for your needs. Now we are going to discuss vendors and expenses reports. This is second type here, and we shall discuss all these reports. And these can be accessed from the report section from our balance sheet, from our report section. Here the first report is accounts payable aging summary reports. Shows the total balance of unpaid bills, unused credit grouped by days past due. This report only be populated if the bills are recorded in the QuickBooks, and as a part of your check and balance, you could run this report same as date you run the balance sheet report or the accrual basis. What is used for, when you will run this report and how it can be useful for you. See an overview of what's happening in the payables areas and get handle on cash flow out. Second report is accounts payable aging detailed reports. It shows the balance of each unpaid bills and unused credit grouped by days past due. Like a summary report, this report will only be populated if the bills are recorded in the QuickBooks. If you run this report with the same as of date of balance sheet on accrual basis, accounts payable line on balance sheet should be the same as total on this report. If you want to see all unpaid bills transactions grouped by vendor rather than date, vendor balance details, vendor balance summary, and accounts payable and aging summary reports are used for see the trend in how payments have been made and the checks that vendors credit have been applied. Third report is 1099 contractor balance summary reports. It shows the total balance you owe each contractor. Detailed report lists all the balance that make up the total amount you owe each contractor. It shows the owed for bills, not expenses. And this is not what show up on the 1099, the amount that has been paid on bills and expenses. These reports are not used for year-end 1099 reporting. 1099 reporting is covered in the QuickBooks Level 2. And the use for this report, how much they have outstanding with the contractor. This is use. Transaction list by vendor report. It shows all expenses, transaction type, checks, bills, vendor credit, specific period group by vendor. What is used? Review all transactions for a vendor for a particular period, ensuring that bills are accounted for. Fifth one is expenses by vendor summary. It shows the total amount spent with each vendor in period. Useful, it get a view on their spending and to answer the questions such as how much am I spending at the hardware store each time. This can identify areas of overspending and make necessary adjustment to stay within financial limit. The sixth report is check detail reports. Show the checks your clients has written with date, pay, and amount. Used for look at the check register. This report is QuickBooks equivalent for a traditional check register. Uh, all these six reports have been discussed here. These are very important for the exam point of view. And now we should discuss the last topic is cash reporting and accrual basis reporting. QuickBooks reports are available in the both ways, like a cash or the accrual accounting methods. With the cash accounting method, income and expenses are recorded when the payment is received. In the accrual basis, the income is recorded when the revenue is earned, regardless of payment. Outgoings are recorded when they are incurred, regardless of the payment date. Financial accounts payable is accrual-based accounting, and you record a bill when you receive it and record the payment later. So there is no option for accounting method on this report. For example, for expenses reports, however, there is an option, and the data and total included in these reports will be different depending upon the accounting methods and of each reports. Now we discuss their questions. Exam question: your client wants to see all their unpaid bills transactions grouped by days past due. Which report will show them this? I think so. This is the first one. Unpaid bills transactions grouped by past days. So this is the first one. Unpaid bills, unused credit grouped by days past. So payable aging summary report is the correct answer. Next one is your clients want to get a view on their monthly spending specific item. The report will show on this one. So I think so. This one is the correct answer for spending, and to answer the question such as how much I spend, total amount spent with each vendor in the period. So expenses by vendor summary is the correct answer for this report. So that's all for today. We have completed our video 3 about the expenses and vendors. This was third video, and we shall also create another one video that would be relevant to the banking. And if you need any help regarding bookkeeping and accounting, and if you need the bookkeeping of your businesses, you may contact me at my email address or WhatsApp number. Or if you have any query, any question, or need any help regarding certifications, QuickBooks and the Zero, I shall also help you. I shall be available for your assistance. And if you need these services on urgent basis, I also provide the paid certification for all these QuickBooks certification and the QuickBooks, and I shall provide you on urgent basis. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, like all these videos, and if you have any question, mention in the comment section and share with your friends for the certification and the QuickBooks learning. And you may also visit my this channel. Thank you for watching this video. Meet you in our next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.